Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Welcome to Night of the Living podcast. Constant craving. Thanks for that, Andy.
I mean, I get the joke, but do people? Is that a phrase aside from the song?
Constant craving?
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is that song's been around long enough that
Katie
I feel
Lang,
it's lost to
right?
history.
Yeah,
Katie Lang.
90s?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
early
early
90s.
90s. Yeah.
The 90s are in now. Maybe the kids know Constant Craving. And then when we apply it to Wes Craven movies.
That's Amy.
I mean, as long as the joke is fun to us, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
But
There's
like as
Andy.
we get older and our references get more dated, I wonder if we have to always explain ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the oldest one in the room by a little bit. I'm Freddy. Now you know who everybody is in case it's your first time.
It's happened to me, though. I have been in a room with people who don't know who the Doobie Brothers are.
Yeah.
You know? And you're like, wow, you've never heard of the Doobie Brothers?
Well, they're probably
Are you kidding me?
They're probably think about the same thing of us when we don't know what Skibbity Toilet is.
Yeah. I forgive it now, whereas like before the internet, if you knew somebody before the internet who didn't know those things, it was more shocking. But now
Right.
the culture has become so diluted, I don't expect anyone to understand a word that comes out of my mouth. I really don't.
Do you understand the word?
I listen to...
Coming out of my- now that's a reference
So you're Chris Tucker all of a sudden?
to an old movie.
I put this
Does anybody know what I'm
Apple
doing?
cozy Christmas music on, and I couldn't identify half of the songs at all.
On the playlist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were not... I've never heard them before. The style is so, to a lot of them, is just so blatantly commercial and just generic sounding that they all sounded the same. I'm just like, what the fuck happened? There was like 3 songs in the whole list I recognized.
Well, who recognizes those new songs anyway? I feel there hasn't been a big Christmas hit in a while.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's supposedly is just kind of instantly will make you money. Put out a Christmas album. It's
right.
reliably
Ooh,
profitable.
Let's do one for us.
We
right?
could. Like the dogs barking, jingle bells, that sort of stuff.
But that's how we get all
version.
this nonsense.
Yeah.
It's from all these Christmas albums. Although there's a few really good ones out there.
I'm going to listen to Ben Folds soon.
Some of that was playing on your little cozy Christmas playlist, but
really?
you weren't in the room.
I wasn't in the room for that part. Yeah. Is it good? Wait, you heard
It was okay.
Yeah.
Didn't do much for me.
Yeah,
I do love Ben Folds, though.
I do too. See,
And I love the name of the album. It's called Slayer, but it's like sleigh,
Like Santa's sleigh.
like Santa's sleigh.
isn't that cute?
It's fucking cute. Where were we?
Constant craving.
Yep.
Last week we did Andy's pick, which was phenomenal. Invitation to Hell, one of the better made-for-TV movies I've seen,
in our opinion.
in our humble opinion.
Yes.
It was wacky as
Yeah.
shit. It was a mess. It was all the
was
things I like
delightful.
in a TV movie.
It's interesting because Deadly Friend looked like a TV movie to me.
It did. Yeah,
Looked cheap.
that's what we're doing this week. If you said you're doing Wes Craven movies and you're not really, who wants to do Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street over and over again?
Would you like to hear me talk to you about Scream again?
Right.
You've heard
Nobody's
about
done
Scream.
that. That's breaking new ground because nobody's done that.
Not enough people are talking about Deadly Friend.
Yeah, Deadly Friend. Who knows? It might get a second life going out of
a dumb
being covered
title.
here.
It doesn't apply to the movie.
It
at
doesn't
all.
mean anything in,
I mean,
in relation
vaguely
to the movie.
it does because there is somebody that's deadly and a friend, but it's not so specific to this movie.
Well, the
Really?
novel it's based on was just called Friend.
That's even vaguer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Darth
about all
Vader.
this.
Yeah. So we'll get into all that. Anything you guys want to mention at the very top? I'm trying to get in the Christmas spirit by mainlining as much Christmas stuff as I can.
Yep.
It's not quite working yet, but I'm hoping I'll turn a corner soon.
Well, what did you watch recently?
We watched
Christmas Vacation.
Christmas
of course.
Vacation. Yeah. And then
And that's it?
Well, I caught the end of Hot Frosty.
I watched Hot Frosty.
Oh, was it hot?
Yeah.
No, they lacked any real chemistry, which was a disappointment. Although the movie itself is kind of fun. I watched it with one of my favorite podcasts, is Page 7, and I watched it with their watch-along commentary.
Oh, fun.
So that made it a lot more fun for me. It was like being at a party and listening to the funniest people I know.
It confused the shit out of me at first when I came in the room because I'm like, Amy, are you listening to a podcast and watching TV at the same time?
I am.
It seemed like you were, and then I realized
I have to mainline content.
Yeah.
Well,
What
I
was
have
happening?
many questions about Hot Frosty, but the one that off the top of my head is when the snowman comes to life, is he butt naked?
He is, except for a magic scarf that's
Okay.
selectively hiding
Oh, the bits.
Long
the bits
scarf.
and bobs.
Like it's not, the scarf's not around his neck. Is it around his neck? And the scarf's long
It's a
enough.
long
So it's like a
scarf.
Venus de Milo kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not Venus de Milo. I meant Venus on a half shell. Right? Is she the one who has her boobs
Yeah.
covered in hair? You know.
So it's not like a Terminator situation where he needs to, he's butt ass naked,
He is butt ass naked.
but except for the scarf.
except for a
Yeah.
scarf.
Did you say a Terminator situation?
Yeah.
He's in a steaming
He doesn't
crater.
kill anybody.
For,
Because this
for
is
the
like
clothes.
a romantic comedy holiday movie on Netflix. Nobody died.
Mm.
Oh wait, no, that's not true. The main lady's husband died of cancer.
Another question, real quick question. How does he come alive? Does she
The
stick?
scarf is magic.
Oh, that's it. I thought it was
Yeah.
hopefully be a carrot that she sticks down there.
Amy inspired me by watching Hot Frosty. I'm like, Amy watched a new Christmas movie this year.
I did.
And I remembered on our meetup that Dustin was talking about a movie that really sparked my interest because in this movie, I'd already seen a poster for him. I was like, no, thank you. Because it just looked like generic Drek. But then I looked a little closer after Dustin told me the premise is a little boy who has dyslexia writes a letter to Santa and then accidentally addresses it
Oh,
to
is
Satan.
it the Jack Black movie?
Dear Santa.
Dear Santa, it's actually pretty good. If you want a decent new Christmas movie, it had a few really funny moments, and the kid who's in the lead is really adorable and sweet. And
I would hope so.
Yeah, it was real neat. It was
Was
just,
it Neato?
It was real neat because it was just all positive vibes, man. It might be something somebody needs right now, but it also had that satanic zeal to it. I'm sure
Satanic zeal.
There's gonna be some parents that are gonna immediately not want this to happen, not want their children to see it because of the Satan.
Too bad.
But I don't think it's like that anymore. I think in the 80s this movie would have been boycotted. Now it's just adorable.
Probably wouldn't be made in the 80s anyway.
You don't think so?
Not for if it's aimed toward kids.
Oh yeah, well, because it's about Satan
Yeah.
and aimed towards kids. Yeah, it would never probably got made. You're right. I'm sure.
Well, if we're talking about Christmas movies we watched recently, I watched Meet Me in St. Louis.
Oh,
yesterday.
I was talking about watching that myself, but I haven't
It's
done
a
it
real
yet.
interesting movie. It's very of its time. It reminded me of Carousel of Progress.
yeah.
I got that feel of them just
I love the
old timey
carousel.
life.
That's
But
the attraction
man,
at Disney World.
Yeah. Some of these characters, I just want to punch in the fucking face.
Oh, really?
Some
Was Judy
punchable
Garland one of
faces.
them?
No,
Oh,
it
okay.
was like other people. It's like, oh my god, they got away with this shit back then, and they made it to be a joke.
Like just some racist, sexist.
No, it's not that. There's at one point where the two youngest kids they pulled a Halloween prank where they got like a stuffed body and put it on the streetcar tracks, and their plan was to derail the streetcar.
Jesus.
And they just made it to be a big joke, like the fact that many people could have died.
Animal House was like that too.
Yeah.
In the climax of that movie, where you're kind of like, you watch it now and it's hard to suspend the disbelief.
Yeah, it's a very sweet movie, but there were just some bratty choices I couldn't get past. It was like, oh my god, you people are awful. But
privileged
cute
kids.
songs though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially, I finally got the context of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas."
Is
Yeah.
it sad?
No, it's bittersweet. Yeah, because I always knew what that movie. That's where that song came from. But now I know the context of it.
And I don't remember if in the movie that the line is still. I think the original line was "Have yourself a merry little Christmas. It may be your last."
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and
either.
I don't know if in the movie they say that or if the legend is that they changed it maybe before they recorded it for the movie.
Sounds like a threat.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Damn.
Yeah.
Amy, you better have a fucking Merry Christmas right now.
God damn, I guess I will.
At gunpoint, it's like, have
Swear to
Merry
God.
Christmas.
Okay.
If you know what's good for you, you'll have a merry little Christmas.
Anyway, yeah, that's our Christmas show. Bye.
That's the part that was about the Christmas movies. Turn out lights, it's the main attraction. 1986, Wes Craven directs a film based on a novel by I think the only novel maybe she wrote, Friend, Diana Hensel. The screenplay, interesting, was adapted by the guy who wrote Ghost. And,
Oh, really?
And Jacob's Ladder, like who wrote the screenplays for
No,
those.
those are good. Both
Those
good
are
screenplays.
movies.
Yeah.
Yep, Deep Impact. Remember that one?
Fun.
Yeah, where the meteor was. Stuart Little too. He did that too, as well.
So, is this the movie that Wes Craven made right after Nightmare, or did he do anything in between?
I want to say that's
this was
a really
86,
good question.
and,
I'm double checking.
Nightmare was
Nightmare's
84.
As a director, he would
If
have
so,
gone.
it's what a step back.
He did A Nightmare on Elm Street. The same year A Nightmare on Elm Street came out, a TV movie called Chiller came out about a guy who was cryogenically frozen. And then, 10 years later, I guess is thawed out or something. Then he did an episode of The Magical World of Disney called Case Busters, about detective kids with a dog.
Oh, that sounds adorable.
Yeah. And then he did Deadly Friend. Okay. So now in Deadly Friend, the thing you need to know too is his intention, I think, was to make this for kids.
Yeah, I did feel that way the first third of it.
Yeah.
It
And then the
very-
studio made him change it up.
So I assume like the Nightmare on Elm Street elements were kind of tacked on.
Anything that had
Right.
like gore in it
Yeah.
was, I think, added on after the test audiences didn't like the version of it he had made, which was PG.
Because they probably saw this and like, hey, you did Nightmare. Like, that was a big hit. Let's throw some of those stuff in there, like all the Nightmare elements
Oh, I stand.
and the guy being
corrected.
burned in the furnace.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was so blatantly
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street style. But Diana Hensel actually did write other books, The Other Side, and there's versions of Friend where they changed it to Deadly Friend on the cover, and something called New Morning Dragon.
Okay.
I don't know if that rings
Well,
a
I'm
bell.
glad
for
that we
anybody.
got that complete picture.
But these
there.
are kind of like paperback from hell
It's
style
important.
books,
Like a Fear Street or Christopher Pike type things.
Kind of, but not serialized. It looks like just that style of
Pulpy.
cover. Yeah, blown out hair on the cover. Shadows and lightning bolts, that sort of thing. Yeah. So you have Matthew. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name, but I think it's Labrato. He plays Paul. He's the lead in this. He's kind of a character actor now. Back then, I think they were trying to make him a lead. And then you have Christy Swanson.
Boo.
Yeah.
Fuck that cunt.
She's a trumper as Samantha. And then his buddy Tom is played by Michael Charette, which is very close to Shart. Charette? I bet it's Charette. But he's been on Newhart and Different Strokes.
Oh, okay. My favorites.
Are we going to play the IMDb game the whole show?
So,
That's the goal.
all right. Did anybody else find that the movie started abruptly? It's like you're starting with a guy sneaking into a car because he's going to rob the car. And like the stakes are high. All of a sudden, you don't really know who, what, where, when, or why. And then all of a sudden, BB is there, who is the killer robot.
Robert Fleischer's voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was in
Charles Fleischer.
Charles Fleischer is what I said. What did I say?
Robert.
That's weird. But yes, him.
Maybe you thought about Robert England
Maybe I was thinking
because
that.
you're on the Wes Craven train.
I was on Roger Rabbit and I changed it to
okay.
Robert Rabbit. Anyways, he was in A Nightmare on Elm Street as the dream tech, the sleep study guy. but he's the voice of BB in this, where he's kind of. I thought Howie Mandel when I first heard it.
The noises are so weird that this robot makes.
And very unnecessary and constant.
Yeah.
This is probably the first robot I rooted against in a movie because I love robots and
Yeah.
I hate when they get injured or get harried in Henderson.
Right.
There's
But
a lot of that.
I
yes.
was rooting against this goddamn robot because it was just so fucking annoying.
Like, it was speaking a whole other language, and nobody seemed concerned that it had developed its own language that it could speak that you couldn't understand.
You think he developed on his own? Like I always thought he purposely programmed that. I was like, why would you do that?
No, because it was like an AI. It can
it's
learn.
learning and evolving.
And it's speaking its own fucking language. That should be a red flag.
But also, he had the ability to take away. If he programmed everything, he could easily cut his vocal cords, right? And turn the volume down.
Exactly. Why does he leave it on?
The speaker.
So it makes all the fucking noises.
He mostly
constantly.
just says his own name. He's
But
like
then he
Groot.
just grumbles and
Yeah.
mumbles.
Not
stuff.
English.
Yeah.
Not English.
Yeah. He does
But
grumble.
It's kind of vaguely English. He like mumbles and the words that sound like what he's
I
doing.
guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
I know
baby,
what you mean.
It's like baby talk
Or
almost.
Yosemite Sam
Yeah.
or something like that. Or the Tasmanian Devil,
Yeah.
probably even more so than Yosemite
That's
Sam.
it.
It's very Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we're introduced to BB, and subsequently after
Maybe fucks that robber up.
he does, he strangles him,
Mm-hmm.
and you think, well, he's just gonna kill him. You're gonna get killed right off the bat here, but he drops him when his creator shows up.
Who is Mark? Is that his name? Mark?
His name is. You gave him the name of Mark. I've already
Jasper.
forgotten. Paul.
Paul.
Yeah.
Who I got issues with Paul.
Yeah.
Was it
Lay 'em on us.
was it a mimic type situation?
Why did you do this, Paul?
Why did he make BB, or why did later on what he did?
No, I know why he made BB, but
Yeah.
again, be concerned at speaking
Yeah.
its own language. Later on, what he did,
Yeah.
that was crazy
You talking
for a
about-
young person
oh.
to come up with.
It was very Pet Cemetery.
Because he's
Yeah.
supposed to be in like 10th grade, but he's already
He's a
in
genius, though.
college.
Yeah.
Our Paul, that's how he is.
Movie has a pretty small cast. You're
Yeah.
basically dealing with neighbors and characters of necessity, like the coroner later, but it's really about the three kids.
Right. Christy Swanson being the neighbor, and then the other friend saying how she has great tits.
Yeah, that's the first thing he
It's
says.
the first thing he says.
He says
about her.
because Paul asked Tom, "What do you think of the new neighbor Samantha?" And he said she has great tits.
You think that was the original line, or was that one of the studio things where they
Oh.
totally punch it
Added in.
up? Because if it's
I
made
wonder.
for kids,
It doesn't
Well, it-
Make it a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
racier.
It's probably to make it sexier because there is no.
But they're high school kids.
There's no sexual relationship at all
No.
between any of the three of these characters. They're all basically celibate characters throughout the whole movie.
well, it's kind. It was leading up to it.
It's hard to say
Paul, they kissed.
after she's already dead, right?
No, it was like like after Thanksgiving or something.
Oh,
Did they kiss?
I don't remember that part. I might have just missed it somehow.
I'm
Anyway,
keeping my
but
mouth
like
shut. I don't remember.
I did get that feeling where it was leading up to.
Oh, see,
them.
I looked at it as like a whole like platonic friendship
Yeah.
No, he was like in love with her. Otherwise, why did he do what he did?
because he's her best friend. You thought there was something going down?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
All right. Well, agree to
It
disagree.
didn't play. It could just be that they had zero.
So they had zero chemistry. Yes.
Right.
So Andy, you say you don't like when robots are being mistreated.
Yes.
How did you feel about BB mowing the lawn? Do you feel like
That was
he wants
cute.
to do that?
I
Or
don't
they
know.
made
I don't
him
know
do
what he. I don't know what he wanted because he was very protective of Paul,
Right.
and I guess he was evolving because he did emote, but the voice, the constant babbling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what he was doing. It just turned me off so much.
Yeah.
Freddy made a good point. Why didn't she start babbling when she got his brain? BB's brain.
Yeah.
She stayed silent. She didn't start speaking
I
in
think
the
it's
special robot language.
Because it would have been too hilarious for her to be like, coming
Although
out
near
Christy
the end, I
Swanson's
think
face.
she
she
says
did.
something.
She does say Paul at the end.
Yeah.
but
She does make the sound too at near
And
the
it
end
sounds
too.
like-
She
yeah.
makes the weird sounds.
Well, I think maybe BB has not used to its new body yet,
True.
because he's still when he. Am I is it a he or a they?
I mean, I think they refer to him as
Okay.
he.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
So
when
I don't know.
he gets transferred into his body,
It's
like
okay to
she's still
misgender BB.
she still does the 3-finger robot hands.
She's got the claws.
for no reason.
So why isn't she speaking the crazy robot language? See,
Maybe
Wes Craven,
probably she hasn't evolved yet into human form yet.
look what you did.
Hey, so there's 3 friends, and they just get in hijinks, especially with the neighbor, the Fratelli mom.
Mama Fratelli.
Elvira is the
Uh,
character. That's the great actress Anne Ramsey,
Yeah.
who everything she did is worth watching, in my opinion.
So like she's the crotchety neighbor that's has a fence up and hates the kids, and at one point they're playing basketball very poorly. By the way, it's very the roomish,
Yes.
like when they were playing football.
on the roof.
Tossing it in tuxedos.
Yeah, but it was their version of basketball.
They were all laughing, and BB-8 was playing with them.
BB-8.
I called him BB-8, didn't I?
I thought the same thing because my
Yeah.
mind went straight to BB-8 after.
Yeah. Well, BB-8 has also got a similar color scheme,
Yeah.
right? BB-8's more orange,
Yeah.
and he's kind of yellow, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're different, actually, entirely.
But you got to wonder, because when you think about, like, Captain Phasma was based on Phantasm, and that's from the same Star Wars iteration as BB-8.
Yeah, but Deadly Friend.
J.J. Abrams likes some strange movies.
All right.
He's fans of a lot of strange stuff.
Okay.
It wouldn't
could see
surprise me if he named BB-8 after BB from this movie. I'm going to start that rumor right now.
Basketball, poorly. She comes at him with a shotgun.
Well, it's because BB, they tossed the basketball to BB, but he doesn't know how to play yet. So he yeets. Another thing about this movie, so much yeeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of eating.
Any movie that has a lot of yeeting in it, I'm all for. So he yeets this basketball clear across the street.
Yeah. And onto the fenced in, locked off, like barricaded yard of Elvira, the neighborhood mean old lady. And now they're like, what do we do? Paul's a stand-up guy. He goes, no, I'll go get it. But the chain's locked, right? Am I getting this right? And they get BB to hack it by quickly trying all the different combinations. Although really, honestly, it wasn't moving as fast as all that. Let's be real. but somehow BB figures out the combination. He goes in to get the ball, and she comes out chasing after them with a shotgun and blasts BB
She murders him.
right in the bread box for chest or whatever, and then in his face.
No, well, at first, the girl, what's her name?
Sam.
She climbs over the fence to get it, and then she Elvira notices her, and then she comes out with a shotgun.
Oh, but yeah, I didn't even realize she
And
did
then
that. Missed that.
first, she jumps off the porch and slips, and instead of literally running 3 feet away to the sidewalk,
Oh yeah, she wipes out.
Yes.
Oh my god, I
instead
totally
of
forgot this.
running away from the house, they go to the side of the house,
Yeah.
which was further away than
Further.
the sidewalk that's 3
You're
feet
right.
in front of them.
I
That
can't watch
bothered
this
me a
movie
lot.
anymore.
Just the stupid the situations that they got themselves into for no reason.
You know what it feels like? Andy has a really good recollection of this moment in the movie, and I feel like one of those people on Cops that's trying to explain to the cops something that happened, but I'm not making any sense.
You're not gonna be a good witness.
No, I feel like
I mean,
a
BB
bad
is
witness
dead.
to deadly
Yeah.
friend.
That's
So-
all that matters.
So at that point, like they go to the side of the house because dummy Sam doesn't run away to the front,
Yeah.
and then BB comes in guns a-blazing. Not guns a-blazing, but he
Clamps
comes in,
a-clamping.
Clamps a-clamping.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
And Elvira takes a shotgun. Who, by the way, good shooting, because I've shot a shotgun before, and that blast,
Yeah, it's a lot of
the
kickback.
backfire kick, it really throws you for a loop, but she just stood her ground and didn't move at all.
Well, look at her. She's hard as nails.
Yeah.
She's a sturdy woman.
Yeah. And she really, I mean, honestly, yeah, she blew up the robot, but they kind of really, this all was kind of on them, right?
I don't know.
Ultimately?
Yes, but at the same time, somebody coming in, it doesn't, the responses are not equal.
Right.
Oh, no. But also, I'm seeing of it as a robot,
Yes.
not as a person. The destruction of property is like,
Right.
is crazy anyway. If you take it out of the, you're like, oh my Lord, you've destroyed this kid's entire like class project that was going to get him into MIT or whatever, and all because a basketball accidentally landed on your porch.
Some shit, man.
But she thought they were up to more than that.
Yeah.
To be fair to Elvira, like you said, Andy, she spotted one kid in her yard already who was acting suspicious. She didn't know they were just there to get a basketball. They might have been coming to steal her Social Security checks or her medicine.
Her medicine.
Yeah, so at this point, BB is scrapped. And the sadness just keeps on coming because Sam's really super abusive daddy reminds me so much of the Beverly Marsh scenes from the
Yes.
miniseries.
I almost expected a bunch of blood to come out of a sink.
Yeah. She ends up going down the stairs because Dad is not satisfied with the explanation of where she's been.
She didn't just go down the stairs. She was thrown
He threw
down.
her.
though.
Yeah,
Yeeted.
She was
She was
yeeted.
yeeted down the stairs.
And, she ends up dying.
Yeah.
Essentially, she's brain dead and she's just being kept alive on life support.
So they take her, to the hospital. She's on life support.
So, like, this kid, I guess they're, Paul.
Uh-huh.
I guess, he's super smart. So maybe he is, more mature. But for this kid to be like, I'm going to do reanimator shit. To me, it seemed like a stretch for this kid to think of this idea.
Well, in this
silly.
my theory was that he is not very socialized. He's not socialized very well because he's so smart and been focusing on academics for so long. So he's introduces his friend that he's never had before, and he falls hard for her.
Right.
So he's gonna do anything in his power. He doesn't know any better because he's just socially awkward, and there's finally this girl that's coming to his life that he's never had.
And this is like typical 80s sci-fi too, where the emphasis is on the phi, not so much on the psi, where it's just BB's brain microchip that has these giant leads coming off of it that are like 3 or 4 inches long. And we skipped over him stealing her from the hospital
And drugging the mom.
Her body.
They drugged the and this scene with they're drugging the mom.
It was the whole scene with the drugging the mom was weird too, because why were they sneaking around so much?
Yeah, it was. They could have just made up an excuse or something, but instead
They took
Or they just wait
they
till she
knock her
goes
out.
to bed.
Yeah.
I think it's because they wanted to take her car without her permission, the van.
Okay.
I think that's the only thing I could think, and
So they
that
drug
she
her.
wouldn't let him otherwise.
I mean, did she ever say that? Was it ever implied that she's very protective of the car?
It
or
didn't
the
matter.
kids?
Not to the writing style
Yeah.
of this movie. It didn't matter.
Maybe I'm thinking about too much,
Yeah.
but it just felt like a bridge too far.
Think about the bridge too far is really the microchip bringing a dead girl back to life.
But to literally root for your mom because you need to sneak out
Yeah.
for a couple hours.
I think it was just for a little added drama.
Yeah.
I love the later when they come back, they think they've killed her. That was a nice touch.
That was really fucking funny.
Oh, that was my biggest problem with the movie. This is gonna be so stupid, but when they find her, she's been out for hours
Yeah.
at this point, and where they find her, her neck position, it bothered me so much.
Oh yeah, it would be awful.
She was all like crumpled over.
Amy did that
on the
last
side.
night though.
I fall asleep.
I just felt
easy,
bad
though.
for the mom being drugged and then put in a sleeping position where when you wake up, you're going to be in a lot of pain.
And
She
having
didn't
Paul for a
seem
kid.
to
Yeah.
be in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Which I was like, movie, I'm calling bullshit on because that would be very uncomfortable.
Anyway,
and I'm
that's
in my
just-
40s and I know.
That's just an aside that really her neck really bothered me.
They put like it looked like solid tablespoon of ground up like sleeping pills in her coffee. And when she drinks it, when there should be this giant globule floating in it, she's like, I make good coffee. and there's a spit take in there from one of the kids because they're like, can you believe she did that?
You want to know what else this crazy bitch did? Did you happen to clock the wallpaper drape combo?
What?
Oh.
Bad?
It was yellow floral drapes against a pink floral wallpaper.
So florals upon florals?
Florals upon florals, colors that clashed. It was just real ugly. I just needed to let you guys know.
Now I
it
want to
was
go
gross.
back and look just at see it.
So the mom, she had problems to start.
Just bad taste.
Bad taste.
Yeah, so at this point, they have drugged the mom, stolen her van, which looks like a terrorist van from Back to the Future a little bit. The Libyans, remember that?
Yeah.
And they go to the hospital. And, well, here's the thing. Even prior to, they're like, okay, we're going to take her off life support at 9 o'clock was the whole thing.
But no, the thing was like he thought it was at 10, but his mom says, oh, they bumped it up an hour to add, for no reason.
They're killing your friend an hour early.
Yeah.
They wanted to create this weird bit of tension just then.
Yeah.
But
So now that not only do they have to do all this crazy shit, now their timeline is an hour shorter than it was.
it's like I like the all of a sudden they just throw a heist in this a caper.
But also, it's there for a reason, because had they gotten there when they originally planned to get there and she was still on the life support, she wouldn't have turned evil, apparently. It's like kind of what the insinuation
that's the only reason.
Is that she was offline for so long, not receiving oxygen to her brain.
That's how she became the deadly friend.
Why she was, once the chip was put into her brain, once they've successfully stolen her from the hospital.
Yeah, she had
that
deteriorated at that time.
Her first thoughts are just animal revenge type thoughts, and she goes after the two people that fucked her shit up.
Yep, she goes after Mama Fratelli and her dad.
I did like when they get to their room and they need to secret her out.
Yeah.
It's like a laundry cart.
They just dump her in there.
And she's like kind of folded in it. Because it's not like a body size laundry cart.
No. They're probably like, we can't hurt her anymore. She's already dead.
And, like they literally had to fold her up and put her in this laundry cart.
Oh, yeah.
This movie has quite a few moments where you're like, but that isn't okay.
So at this point, before any killing happens, right, he has made her little Betty by with his best sleeping bag.
He puts her in the shed.
Yeah.
Her dead body, and they install the chip.
And like Freddy said, that's all it takes. You just shove this chip into her brain with these giant like prongs, the leads or whatever. It just keeps going and going.
And besides stealing her from the hospital, they had also stolen like the equipment you use to see x-rays during surgery and like really like crazy, $1 million pieces of whatever.
How could they have just walked? Maybe
They put them all in laundry bags. She was all in there with her. Is the thing, maybe. I don't know. They might have even addressed that detail. Like
it wasn't that big of a laundry container.
But at any point, did they have something to shock her body awake besides just putting the chip in her brain? There wasn't like Frankenstein moment with electricity.
He just turned on the chip.
I think it was just he used the remote control.
No, that's very
because he says his buddy's there with him. He says you had to be kidding me.
That's very anticlimactic for a resurrection.
He hits a button, and then her leg jerks. That was like a big moment. It was the "It's Alive" moment. It was the Frankenstein moment for sure.
Right.
Just not as iconic.
She, the reason why she died and has been resurrected is because they put that like
blue eyeshadow
around her eyes, but like a bunch of it all the way around, so she sort of looked like a raccoon.
I almost feel like that's a holdover from when it was still like supposed to be aimed at younger viewers, and they didn't want her to be like it was
dead.
Right, to be rotting. Like they're like, oh, we'll just make her look peaked.
Peaked. I like that word.
That's a weird word, isn't it?
It's fun though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like she's got all this eye makeup on to make her look dead, and then she's got claw hands.
She has, yeah. They're like
And crazy eyes.
lobster boy kind of like.
Yeah.
What is that called? Polydactyl, something like that.
Sure.
She does like the Spock.
Yeah, it's
what did he say?
you live long and prosper.
Yeah, the live long and prosper. He does. He basically does that.
Yeah, she kind of does that because that's what
Sideways.
BB's hands look like, and so of course BB's chip.
But I don't know why she did the three finger thing. Because like, just do the clamps.
You could just do the clamps, but didn't BB also have kind of a type of thumb?
Oh, did he? I just thought he had clamps.
I don't remember. I have to get a better look at him again.
We'll have to watch it again.
Anyway,
I have to watch it over and over again.
Over and over until we know exactly.
but she also like on top of the robot hand thing that she does, she also sees in pixels.
Oh yeah.
When it's her
Yeah.
POV, it's still pixelated, like we saw how BB saw the world. But it doesn't make sense because he's in a human body now. Human eyes aren't pixelated.
He should use our better eyes.
Exactly.
Andy, you know
But
what you're doing right now.
But the microchip might be the thing that makes it pixelated.
That's the only thing that makes her see.
Maybe like it's her. She's getting the real HD vision of human eyes, but he can't turn into anything other than what the chip's capable of.
I mean, near the end when she's evolving into more of a hybrid creature,
Yeah.
the pixels go away and she sees how we see the world.
Yeah. Ooh, scary. Ooh, scary. I actually did when I was a kid. I thought this movie was incredibly sad and incredibly scary, but I was 8 years old. So, what are you gonna do?
Who dies first, Dad or Mama Fratelli?
dad.
The dad.
Yeah,
He gets his head put in a furnace.
he does. That's a pretty gruesome death.
That's just your face and brain cooking.
Yeah, and then they decide Paul tries to cover that one up by putting him in the coal pit because this is like a coal furnace too. Is the other thing. So that's almost like a little bit of a nod to Psycho too. Remember the killer hid the body in the
Did
in
you
the
hear a
coal
beeping?
pile.
I thought I heard a beeping.
It's probably the crock pot.
Is
I'm
that
making
okay?
a pot roast. Yeah,
It was BB here.
BB's making a pot roast.
All right. Sorry, I thought I heard something.
Yeah,
I did.
I'm just wondering. At one point, did they come in and said, "Hey, you need some more Nightmare on Elm Street stuff"?
After a test screening.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and they just shoehorned in this furnace death.
Yeah, I have
And the basketball did the head.
not to make it an IMDb episode, but it addresses this really well. It says director Wes Craven and screenwriter Bruce Joel Rubin's original vision for the film was a PG-rated supernatural science fiction thriller, with a primary focus being on the macabre love story between Paul and Samantha, so there definitely was supposed to be a love story, as well as a secondary focus on the adults around them and how they are truly monsters inside themselves. He filmed that version. Warner Brothers screened it for a test audience of Craven fans. And the response from the fans was negatives, criticizing the lack of violence and gore seen in Craven's previous films.
They didn't get what they crave.
Their constant craving. I did like probably the addition that dream sequence that Sam had with her dad coming in her room.
Yeah.
And kind of being lasciviously
Ooh.
almost molesting her.
Here's
Yeah.
what they added, though. They added
with the blood squirting out of him. after
six
she stabbed him.
additional gore scenes.
Yeah, the gore scene, there's like a vase at the end of her table, and she reaches for it and breaks the vase and stabs her dad with it. Mm-hmm. But the opening of the vase is in his body, and it squirts out blood all over her.
That was gnarly.
Yeah, that was a pretty
fun.
cool scene.
Yeah.
They disowned the film, the writer and director.
Oh.
Just so you know.
Okay. Poor little.
So she kills her
Disowned
dad,
movie.
and then she goes after Ma Fratelli.
Yeah. Because she killed BB. I almost said BB-8.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But very poetic justice.
She
Her
kills
death.
her with that fucking basketball. She wings
So
a
great.
basket. She yeets
Yeah, she eats it.
this basketball at Mama Fratelli's head, and what happens is a marvel. That was a lot of fun.
There's a bunch of, I think they said cow guts or
Was it?
something that was in there, and I presume some sort of porcelain or something. But this said she threw that 20 times or more or something is in the trivia.
Yeah.
Having to get it right, making
Yeah.
it angry enough and fast and hard enough that it would,
Realistically.
cut into that next scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another the force that she threw it with explodes Mafratelli's head. But I know like in movies, robot human hybrids are supposed to be super strong, but the Sam, she doesn't gain any more muscle or power just because she has a chip in her brain.
But the chip knows how to use what you've got
I
already.
guess,
See,
but it
there's
just-
always an excuse though, Andy. In bad science fiction, it's
It's a
always
chip.
they're going to be like, the chip did it.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like that thing where you get this big adrenaline rush and you can do these big feats of strength.
Oh, like a baby.
Yeah, and
a
the mom can lift the
yeah.
car up, but I guess that's the reasoning behind it. But it's not like you have a chip in your brain and all of a sudden you gain this extra strength and mobility and stuff.
Apparently, you do though. The movie will argue that they're like their logic is infallible.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why her hands were like this, even though she could be super strong. Her hands are
Claws.
like friggin' claws, but she's super strong.
So they
Can't
could,
separate her fingers though.
they could have left it at just the head exploding, but they had to plus it by having the body like ride around.
So good. It's clearly a switch out to a young
kept
person.
walking for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so gross.
But look at the
Loved
shapely
it.
legs.
Yeah.
Either Anne Ramsey had much shapelier legs than she ever let on, or this is a younger person with shapely legs
Oh,
covered in blood.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, but so maybe that is accurate to what happens when your head gets exploded by a basketball.
I thought you were going to say that those were really Anne Ramsey's
Yeah.
legs.
Woo, woo.
I wish my legs looked that good at that age.
But just the execution of the scene, you can clearly see the body underneath the fake body that they're holding up
Yeah.
kind of move.
Yes.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's the
They
best moment in the
tried.
movie.
I think a lot of people know this scene, if they not necessarily the movie, but they've seen this death
It's a
scene.
GIF or
Yeah.
something.
I was
Yeah.
watching The Fury recently, and I hadn't seen it in forever. It has a moment very much
Yeah.
like have you ever seen that? It's a great movie with Kirk Douglas, and I can't remember the rest of the cast, but it's got an exploding body in it that's out of this world. Mwah.
Mwah.
Chef's kiss.
Tom's gonna go to the police because he's like, this is insane. What my friend is doing here. And he's gonna go let him know, but Sam finds out.
I love this scene where she's on the second floor, and then like Tom is like
Yeah.
going out the front door. She eats herself out the
She
out the
eats
window.
right out the second floor window to fuck his shit up
Yeah.
and prevent him from going to the cops.
It's so quick,
Yeah.
so graceful.
Yes. She's
Microchip, Andy, see?
And then out of nowhere, this bully character that had sort of been in the movie for like 5 seconds earlier.
Greaser style bullies or the order of the day.
Yeah.
Biker gangs.
Because of Stephen King, probably.
Yeah. He pops back up at the worst possible moment.
Or just when you need a kill.
Or just when you're just bloodthirsty and you need a kill.
They had to add 6, Amy. 6 gory scenes.
Yes.
So they're like, that's why that guy comes back seemingly out of nowhere.
I forget what they did to him.
Yeah, I do too.
No, he confronts Paul and Sam, at this point the police are coming after Sam because of all the killings and stuff.
And stuff.
So the bully runs interference and she yeets him at a cop car.
That's right.
Yeah, he goes right into the
Yeah.
fucking windshield.
Again, this superhuman strength that she develops. She like literally throws him like 30 feet with a lot of force into a police car.
Well, you've heard that myth that we only use 10% of our brain.
Guess we only use 10% of our strength too.
Yes.
We only use 10% of our Christy Swansons until we put microchips in them.
And then you can use the full 100% Christy Swanson.
Yeah.
Is Swanson TV dinner still a thing? Are they still in business?
I don't know.
I don't remember ever seeing them at the store
okay.
the last time I was there. Those were pretty good.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
She starts talking like BB at this point. Maybe she's fully integrating.
Yeah. He's like, I love you, Sam. And she's like, boo boo. He's like, kiss me. And she goes, boo boo.
So is he still in love with Sam at this point, even though it's not Sam?
I didn't know he was in love with her to begin.
I don't
okay.
know.
I know that, like, for some reason
That
I
would
read
be
this as the
awkward.
most fucking like chaste, just totally
Chastity.
chaste kind of chaste.
Chaste.
I started to say chastity, and I was like, no, chaste. Chaste is the word I was looking for. There's something very like, smooth down there for both of them in this situation for me.
Well, I mean, it makes sense
Yeah.
when you find out the history of the movie, but yeah, something smooth down there.
It's a very innocent relationship, which makes it sadder, I think. Like, to me as a kid, when I saw this, it was very tragic. The whole thing felt like a major tragedy.
Yeah, I did. There were some moments where like you felt for the characters.
I mean,
Yeah.
she got like abused to death.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Like her dad was awful.
That's heavy shit. I don't feel like the movie earned the heaviness of the shit, but it went for it anyway.
But I will say that she didn't kill anybody that didn't necessarily deserve it either.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a bridge too far to kill. Well, I guess Elvira did shoot somebody with a shotgun. That's pretty dangerous.
Yeah. She shot in their direction, even if she was shooting at BB.
And bullying is pretty bad. So it's not like these victims were innocent. So the mayhem was justified.
Right.
Yeah. So what did you think, Andy? Amy, you had seen this once before, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Andy, not at all.
Yeah, it's the first time. I liked it. It was fun.
It's kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, it gets a lot of hate, but like,
It's not the worst thing you can watch.
it's kind of a fun movie.
It has its
For me,
moments.
like the good parts override the bad parts. So I just if you like,
it's fun to pick on.
yeah. I'm not looking for like art,
Right.
like Oscar stuff.
Right.
But for what it is, I had fun with it.
Yeah.
Did you guys, when you were growing up, did you watch Not Quite Human? It was a made-for-TV movie. It came out close to the time of this movie, where it's Alan Thicke, who's he's a scientist.
Goodness.
And he has this kid. He has like a real living human daughter, and then he has a robot son named Chip.
Man, what is about the 80s and robots?
Well,
Yeah.
Not Quite Human is like
They
a
were in love with
series
them.
of made-for-TV movies. I think they are Disney movies. Yeah. So there's
Did
three
this come
of them.
before or after Small Wonder?
It's after Small Wonder, I'm pretty sure. Because it was 87. Small Wonder was 85. Yeah. So we were hopped up on robots for sure. Yeah, but Deadly Friend, I think we all kind of sort of recommend it.
Kind of, sort of.
Do not recommend the credit song though. they made a song for this movie.
We had lyrics and stuff.
It was just like BB.
Yeah.
That was the whole lyrics.
And then it was like dinga 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 dinga.
Like a techno pop version.
Yeah.
Credit song. It was weird.
It
Yeah.
was super weird.
I think they were trying to make it a
Movie was
thing,
weird.
but it didn't succeed. That song.
No.
So algorithmically speaking, do we have anything this week? I mean, I have a few things I wanted to mention. Do you?
I read a book.
Mm-hmm. Was it Deadly Friend?
No, it's just friend.
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 No. This book that keeps popping up for me when I'm looking for stuff and trolling Libby from the library. I finally just bit the bullet and read it. It's called Fantasticland. It's been out for a few years. So I'm sure people have heard of it, or I don't know if you have or not. I hadn't until it started popping up for me. But anyway, it was good. It was depressing, but it was good. It's about this major hurricane that's barreling down on a theme park in Florida. And all the employees that stay on, because they're going to be the ones, afterward to help clean up or whatever. All these employees that stay on, this storm is worse than anything that's ever hit Florida before. And they get stuck there for a really long time. And some really dark shit starts to go down at the theme park. And it's the story, and it's told through an interviewer interviewing people that had been there or who had tangentially were involved with what had happened to get the full story.
So it's a Lord of the Flies type thing.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of young people.
I didn't realize this was the same book because you kind of described it to me, but I didn't realize it was that.
Yeah, I read
If that
this.
makes sense. Him saying Lord of the Flies made me remember that when you told me about it before. I thought it was more like that.
Yeah.
But the amusement park element makes it extra creepy.
Yeah.
But in a fun way,
Yeah.
Sure.
right? Are there roller coaster deaths involved
Fantasticland.
somehow?
No.
No.
The rides don't figure that much. Or do they? Oh, no spoilers. You're going to have to read Fantasticland for yourself.
Any news about a adaptation for this?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I wonder.
Sounds like a TV series.
Yeah, it
doesn't
seems like it's right up, is ready to be made to
Yeah.
a series or a movie.
Yeah, you could do like a whole thing like with the time jump and the different,
Yeah.
you know.
It sounds like a good thing to adapt. Yeah.
Let's buy it. Let's option it.
So is this aimed toward younger audiences?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. No, it's definitely not. It's not young adult or anything
Okay.
like
Is
that.
it aimed at the very elderly?
It's only the most elderly.
Large print. Only available in large print.
It's aimed toward babies and elderly.
Well,
two
yeah, no one in between.
extremes.
Yes, exactly.
That sounds great.
Is
I'm
it a
into
quick? I mean, how long is the book?
It's not long at all.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's a reasonable length.
Do you finish it, Andy?
Brisk.
No, I start. It's another one of those books I start. You know, like you start reading a book, then you kind of like shotgun it for a while,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you just hit a wall.
I'm
take a
doing
break.
that with a book
Yeah.
right now too. Yeah.
I'm at that point where they tell the stories of all the kids and their encounters with it.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm at the point where Eddie is about to enter the abandoned house.
It's
Yes,
a good
yes.
spot
Yeah.
in the story. Ooh, so you get to go back to something really scary.
Yeah, but that was like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago where I stopped.
But you remember where you
Yeah,
were.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll do that and then I come back to it and I'm like, I gotta start over.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
But for a movie I watched Smile 2
Oh yeah.
because it's finally on streaming because I wasn't going to pay
What's it on right now?
theater. Paramount maybe.
Oh, okay,
It's streaming somewhere.
Okay.
I didn't really care for the first one, so
I
that
don't
might be
remember anything about the first one.
that might have colored my idea of this movie too because I
Yeah.
didn't care for this one either.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you didn't like the first one, I'm surprised you even bothered watching this one.
Well, I was just curious because everybody kept saying, "Oh, this is so much better,"
Oh, really?
and it just looked more fun because the first one I thought was just a little too serious
yeah.
and a little too heavy. But now that this one it's like a pop star, and she's and I thought it's gonna be like more like fun. I mean, it's funner than the first one,
Yeah.
but for me, it still takes itself a little too seriously.
Right.
And the whole movie is like, just kidding, it didn't happen.
Oh, I hate that.
You know, that is because that's what the demon does, I guess, or the entity. It makes you see things that aren't there. And
And then you've eaten your pillow.
yeah.
Nope.
And all of a sudden you become a robot.
Yeah.
So to me, there was no tension or
Yeah.
like there's no nothing driving the story. The story was basically she gets not possessed. Like what happens?
You get smiled at.
Yeah, it gets
I don't remember.
you get cursed by this
Yeah.
demon, and
Yeah.
basically the whole movie is like freaky things happen to her, but it turns out it's not real.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
or
So no
it didn't
stakes?
really happen, or it's like it turns out you did it,
Yeah.
even though you thought you didn't do it. So there's no stakes.
No to low stakes.
Yeah,
That sucks.
and like 2/3 into the movie, like the last act, they just have this big exposition dump where it's very clumsily executed because this curse is just so vague too.
right.
I still don't know why it smiles.
Yeah.
Maybe they did explain it in the first one, but
You're
I
like, 'cause
forgot
it's
it.
creepy.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, that's a creepy thing. These
It's
people
creepy.
smiling.
Yeah.
We don't need a reason why it smiles. It's just
Yeah.
creepy.
It's creepy.
But I will say, like, she's a pop star, and like the music that she performs are legit.
Yeah.
Really?
There's some bops.
Okay.
And
They get like now when they have something for a movie, they usually get like really legit songwriters to
Yeah.
make that stuff.
like I see what they're going for, like Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo type pop star, like Lady Gaga, all come on together. But I like the songs; they're pretty fun, and they don't just do little bits of it. They like perform the whole song and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
So it's like Copper Mountain.
give props to the lead actress. She did good with what she had, even though it got kind of repetitive, the performance, because it was the same thing over and over again. Like just putting her in these intense situations, and it turns out, nope, they're not. You know,
That's
Lame.
stupid.
yeah. But there is a really good scene where she's presenting at this awards, like a gala, and she's like reading off the teleprompter, and she just says all this like batshit crazy stuff, and it's just the awkwardness of the people in the audience. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna watch. I like the
Yeah.
first one a lot.
Now I feel like I need to go back and watch the first one. I don't remember shit.
It was simple. It was just like The Ring or any of those other movies. You don't really need to know anything.
But The
Okay.
Ring had more like explanation of what was happening and
Yeah.
them trying to figure out.
But what
and
I'm
everything
saying
like
is
that.
the premise of Smile is so simple.
Yeah.
You could watch the sequel probably without having
yeah,
seen the
yeah, you
original.
don't need to see the first one,
Right.
even though there are some questions like what
Right.
happened.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not saying it's as good as The Ring.
yeah.
Clearly not.
So I did like, you know, that thing where you don't like a movie and you need confirmation from other people.
Yeah, it's
To see
like
that you're
if the
right.
milk's sour or
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
So I just did some sleuthing, and it seems like a lot of people like this movie.
Yeah. It's you know what? Everything's gonna catch somebody in a mood.
Yeah.
Especially now that we're inundated with material. It's not like you're waiting 3 months for the next horror movie. You can just mainline this shit. You can spend your whole day watching it,
Right.
and then at the end of the day, you know, it's all like a blur.
Mhm.
There's so much out right now. It's insane.
So
Like,
much.
I want to be like on Freddy's thing where it's like people are different, people like different things,
Mhm.
but when it goes so much against what you
Yeah.
think, you're wondering like, what's wrong with me?
I've been there. I
Yeah.
know what you mean. Gladiator,
Yeah.
the first Gladiator. Remember we were talking
Yeah.
about how I didn't like that when it came out, and I think I was the only person I knew who didn't. It was really weird. I'm just probably wrong. The
you
Dyatlov
were.
Pass incident that Fozzie recommended to us at the meetup.
Devil's Pass.
Yeah, it's called Devil's Pass or the Dyatlov Pass incident. I think if you're looking for it, you have to put that full thing in there.
Oh.
It's on Shudder. You fell asleep?
But I saw
You saw enough, right?
half of it.
It's really compelling. I recommend it.
Yeah.
I think it was fun, and
I do
I'm
too.
surprised. I totally went under my radar. I never knew it was out. It's been out for years.
It's fun to say or not.
It's hard to say.
That too.
Amy and I checked out 2 new shows on TV.
We did too.
Yeah, Pop Culture Jeopardy.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen this, Andy?
Is that the Jeopardy spinoff with Colin?
Yeah,
Jost?
Colin Jost. It's fun. I mean, it's also, I'm way better at regular Jeopardy, which is weird. Like 10 years ago, it'd have been an exact opposite. But man, I'm out of
Do you
touch
play
with pop
along?
culture.
There's not a
Do you
ton
not
of stuff.
know what's going on at all?
I do okay when it's like a big classics type of category, but if it's anything new, music, anything new.
Man, they have
almost.
like a TikTok
Yeah.
category.
Oh, I'm
I
out
didn't know
then.
Yeah.
shit because I'm
It's-
not on TikTok.
I didn't think I would enjoy watching it for that reason because I knew going into it would
people
be
need
like
to
that.
stop being on TikTok because I'm not there and I don't like being not part of things.
So
It's still a fun show though.
do they talk about like memes and
Yeah.
like
All
current
that
events and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's all based around pop culture
Okay.
stuff. And you instead of individuals, they have teams.
Oh, okay.
Like trivia teams,
Yeah.
which Andy, you're gonna find your first criticism is going to be all the teams have theater kid energy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like, I mean, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
But the really great thing that we watched that blew me away was that Interior Chinatown show.
Yeah, that is really good.
We made it through 6 episodes.
Yeah, we watched quite a bit of it.
Is that the whole series of 6 episodes?
No,
No,
there's
we
10.
still have more to go.
Okay.
But and I don't know if it's going to be more than one season. It's based on a book. But I am so into it. Like
It's on Hulu.
It's so good. I thought it was going to be like goofy parody funny because on paper it sounds like that. Like it's just going to be haha like Lower Decks.
Mm-hmm.
But Lower Decks is another good example of there's so much like legit material in it that it's more than a comedy. And this
Right.
show is like that. It's really deep. It's a lot of fun. Ronnie Chang's in it. I love him so much. He's so grumpy. He's so good at playing a grumpy. Beautiful stuff.
He's so good at playing a grumpy.
A grumpy, anybody, a grumpy, a super grumps.
I mean, the conceit is that the character's is typically a background actor, a background character
Yeah.
in a cop show,
Which
but
is
now
based on,
they're the
like-
main character.
It's supposed to be like CSI or Law and Order kind of show.
Law and Order,
Did it have a name at some point? Did they say there was a name? Because there's like
Black and White, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Black and White. Yeah, and they're living in the TV show, so it would be like. And sometimes it would be like this. It'd feel real normal. We'd be sitting here, but then the lead detectives from the show would enter the room, and the lighting would change in here, and it'd get real blue, and we wouldn't matter as much, even though this is my house and everything. They would come in and they would start taking over the scene, and it's a lot of that.
Oh, so it's like a show within the show.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Is it how they execute the same execution as Kevin can
Yes.
fuck himself?
Yeah.
Except so it's like you see
Yeah.
what's going on after, like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. It's basically they are living in this world of television, and every day for him it's a lot like, also you could say like the Lego movie, I think, had a similar plot where every day is the same and everything works a certain way, and then he decides to break out of that, and it causes, changes to happen. Pleasantville is another. It kind of reminds me of some parts of Pleasantville. It's good. It's
And it
really,
is
really
funny.
good. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, it's mostly a comedy, I think. If you're a fan of true crime shows, or not true crime, but procedurals,
Yeah.
it's really got all of the tropes. And even some tropes from other TV shows kind of bleed in, which I hope they keep doing that. That's really fun. Enhancing stuff is a running joke. Every time the cops have something, they need it enhanced. It's great.
It's great.
Big recommend.
Good time.
Interior Chinatown.
All right. Next week we're gonna be doing Shocker.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Was his name
Andy's doing
Horace
the hand
Pinker?
gesture.
I feel like I remember the character's name. I want to say it's
Movie
Horace Pinker.
I have not seen yet. I'm excited to see.
Starring your boy, Mitch Pileggi.
My boy, Mitch Pileggi,
The chances of Amy never having seen Shocker just doesn't seem right.
is
to me.
a shocker. I agree.
It is a shocker. Yeah, his name was Horace Pinker. Why did I remember that? You'll wonder when you see Shocker.
Like, I don't remember the movie much, but I do remember this one scene where he's like, finger licking good.
Yeah, I
can't wait.
It's a real bad movie.
Can't wait. You know where I'm at emotionally. It's bad
Yeah.
movies only.
All right.
At the end of every show, we always say hi to our Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/NOTLP if you're interested. We've just been posting some bonus content over that away.
Coming Friday, a whole new show.
A whole new show.
Yep. It's me and our buddy Joe, and we're going to be talking about the Twilight Zone. We're revisiting it from the beginning.
What is it called?
It's called Zoned Out, and I'm going to release it on Friday
So down. I think that's adorable.
at the same time the original pilot of the Twilight Zone aired, and I think we're going to stick to that release schedule on our
right.
Patreon. But we'll put the first episode here too.
Okay. Patreon.com/NOTLP. All right. Beelzebubs are Matt, Branan and Emily, Jeffel, Iona Goodwin,
What a great one.
Dr. Brian, Old Dirty Bilstard, Bill Fahrner, Blayne Yogurt. Can you guys tell that I'm hungry? Jordash Jeans. Hi, sir. Your work. I've listened to the first episode of Zoned Out, and I can say that your work with Freddy is magical. Monica, Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora, Ernie, Dave, and Paul.
Yay, thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. We love you so much. Oh my gosh. Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London